Hello and welcome to another episode of Film Freaks with a Z, the podcast all about movies with a Z. Today is a special introduction because we're doing another fan vote. That's right, you get to vote on my Twitter. You get to vote for the movie of your choice that people have suggested for us to watch. As I said the last time there was a fan vote, the second place movie, of course, will be re-put into the vote, and then there'll be 3 new movies, if people recommend them, to be put into the vote as well. Coming up first, though, is Goodfellas, which was recommended by Maz Tech Gaming. If you guys want to vote for that movie, it will be the number 1 in the number 1 slot, I should say, not the... I don't know what it is. And anyway, so it's the number 1 in the votes because it got second place last time. Also, we have Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen, which was recommended to us by Tim Rules. So if you want to see us suffer through that, you can vote for that one. The next one, The Good, The Bad, and The Weird, which was recommended by the Weird One himself, Player 2. And finally, the last recommended movie up for the fan vote is Groundhog Day, which was recommended to us by Jesse Edwards, who I believe goes by the name Mr. Shiny on Twitter, I think. I'll have to recheck that. But those are the 4 movies that you can vote for if you want to vote for them, or, whichever one you want to vote for. Make sure you vote for it. It'll be attached to the promotional tweet that I send out. The fan vote will be attached to it in the replies, so make sure you hunt that down, just like you need to hunt down the Freeman, and vote for your favorite one. But, anyways, that's all for that. Let's introduce ourselves. I am, of course, Yemmy the Ferret, aka Yemmy. I do podcasts and live streams. Oh, who am I here with today?
Hello, everyone. It is I, Greedy Waffle, aka Nick.
Hey, it's Taymation.
It's Coco Gamer.
And we are Film Freaks. Thanks for listening, everyone.
See ya!
That was a good episode, guys.
Yeah, great episode. Good job, guys. Just gonna end the stop recording. And I'll get this. No, just kidding.
Easiest edit ever. Although that would be kind of cool to do because the movie we just watched would leave a little clue to why we did it.
I don't know about that one. But...
Yeah. Did it leave a clue?
Yes, Tay, why don't you introduce the movie that you suggested last episode?
Okay, so I suggested Clue from 1985. It's 6 guests are anonymously... I can't even talk. 6 guests are anonymously invited to a strange mansion for dinner, but after their host is killed, they must cooperate with the staff to identify the murders as the bodies pile up. It features Eileen Brennan, Tim Curry, Madeline Kahn. There's a whole bunch. Hold on. My computer. Come on. Take me to the list. Thank you. Sorry. Eileen Brennan, Tim Curry, Madeline Kahn, Christopher Lloyd, Michael McKean, Martin Mull, Leslie Ann Warren, Colin Camp, Lee Ving. And there's Lee Ving. Yeah, there's a lot of them. And it was also written by John Landis and Jonathan Lynn, and directed by Jonathan Lynn.
Hey, you want to start a conversation?
Oh, sorry. I forgot I was supposed to do that. I don't know where to start. That's what you do, Yemmy.
Let's start with you said this was your little sister's favorite movie?
At one point. I don't know if it still is, but at one point it was.
So do you have fond memories of watching this movie with your sister?
I do. I watch this, like I said, I used to watch this movie probably at least once or twice a year, especially when we first found it. Obviously, it's an older movie. I mean, this came out the year I was born. That's how old I am.
Ooh.
And we didn't. I don't think it was until like late '90s, early 2000s that we found it. And so we watched it quite a bit. Especially we'd put it, on DVD. I guess we can get to. There's 3 endings, and on the DVD version, you can actually have it randomly pick the ending for you.
Hmm.
So that
would have been nice for the version I watched.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, most of the versions now you find it just shows you the 3 endings in a row.
Yeah.
You need to find, like I said, the DVD or in theaters. They released it when they released it. The theaters just picked a random ending for you. You didn't know, and like at first, no one knew there was multiple endings until they started talking about. Wait, that's not how it ended.
That would actually kind of piss me off because, like, no, say like I go to watch it and then Yemmy gets the different kind of ending. It's like, why am I paying for a different experience? I mean, I didn't see why they did it, but I think that would actually kind of piss me off. That'd be like, well, I want to see his ending. Like, what the hell?
Knowing Nick and I, we'd probably argue for like an hour about
Yeah.
which ending was actually. Like, you're not remembering right, Nick. He'd be like, no, this is what happened.
I swear.
I mean, people probably would have been pissed, but they did it for a reason, so people would go back to the theaters and see all the endings.
Yeah.
It was a good ploy to get money.
That's why I'm saying that. I see why they did it, but
Or she got lucky and they just choose the same ending.
Yeah.
And the way the endings are set up, and I don't know if you guys want to talk about the ending yet, but it seems like the third ending is like the real ending, the way they
Correct.
set it up. So,
Yeah.
I actually didn't like the final third ending myself.
yeah, I like the first one.
Yeah,
honestly.
me too. I love the first
Yeah.
one.
I thought the first one was the more creative. Everything else was just like, yeah, well, this is how it happened.
Well, the first and I guess the second ending just reminded me of playing the game, back in the day with my mom. We would find the one killer and, everything would kind of come together in the big old grandiose fashion. And I just felt like the third ending just, I don't know, it didn't follow the lore. I don't know, what am I trying to say? Like, it just didn't follow the concept of the game, and it kind of was just like, kind of ruined it a little bit for me. Not like a lot, but it was enough to make me go, yeah, I wish I didn't see the second or third ending, because I think the first one made a lot of sense.
Yeah, there's definitely some plot holes in each of the endings. Although the last ending, I guess we're talking about the last ending. I mean, in the game, you were just trying to find out who killed Mr. Body.
Mhm.
And so at the very end, it's like, no, it was Mr. Green who killed Mr. Body. That was their...
Right. Well, I did like the joke that was at the end of the second one the best. Like, Mrs. White Miss Peacock's a man? Like, I love that, and they slap him. And the third one, yeah, when Mr. Green's like, I'm gonna go home and sleep with my wife. That was the end. I do think that those were good zingers at the end, but the first one just, I don't know, the first one just made more sense to me. Just everything in perspective, just
I think
motivation was better, I think.
Yeah, the first one, the motivation I think is better, and I think it has the least amount of plot holes. Especially like because Miss White supposedly is the one who killed Yvette. Spoilers, everyone. If you didn't get that already. But like it doesn't really make sense that like she went downstairs, and so Yvette also had to go downstairs. And it's like, why would Yvette go downstairs if she thought she was meeting Miss Scarlet? That makes sense because they were kind of working together. But they both just happened to go to the same room, unprepared, like unknowing that the other one was going there. Like that doesn't make sense.
A lot of plot convenience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I have to say, like, speaking of plot holes, like, when like the chandelier fell before, and then at the end, like, I'm not sure if they did as like a joke or just a transition, because they shot the chandelier down at the end. It's like, what?
Yeah, there was a second chandelier.
Yeah, there was 2 chandeliers, and the second time was just for a joke, because Colonel Mustard almost got hit the first time, and he was like, oh, shit, I just shit my pants, and then it happens again, and that's where the freeze frame happens. And
True.
like I said, I didn't think that was the more funny ending, but I did like that ending better.
Yeah. It was definitely interesting endings.
I should ask, who is everyone's favorite character from Clue?
Oh.
Huh. Wait, in the
wanna.
board? I'll say in the board game or in the movie?
In the movie, not
Okay.
I was thinking of the board game.
The board game, I always wanted to be green or mustard, but in the movies, it was probably Wadsworth was like one of my favorites because I love Tim Curry.
Yeah, he was.
Oh,
Very
yeah.
good.
Yeah, in the movie, I would say Wadsworth. I think he played his role like very well and very like I think he carried the movie.
And which was kind of his role. He was supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
And
He was supposed to be like you playing the game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I like that in each ending, he's not just a butler. He's either like a cop or the blackmailer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But Wadsworth's definitely my favorite. Out of the actual playable characters in quotations.
The RPG elements.
I don't know. I love them all. Like, I think they all bring this like. The fun thing about this movie, like, and on the first watch, you don't necessarily notice it, but you can watch just one character the whole time, and they're doing something like every time. They're just like, oh, I didn't even notice they were doing that, and that's hilarious. They just make weird faces or just react things weird. Like each character has their own reaction. If you just watch a specific character throughout the whole movie, you always see something new.
Yeah,
Well, at least for 6 times.
Yeah.
I would say my favorite character would probably be Professor Plum. I don't know why.
Pervert?
Yeah,
You relate to him? Yeah.
Relate.
Christopher Lloyd. Who doesn't love
Hashtag relate.
Christopher Lloyd? Yeah, no, I would probably say Plum's one of my favorites too, just because again, I love Christopher Lloyd from since Back to the Future, so it's
Yeah.
like I'm just kind of biased here.
Yeah, it was hard to recognize him without the white hair,
Yeah.
and the crazy scientist outfit, but I did
Yeah.
recognize him towards the end of the movie. It was really weird how, I mean, almost every scene he was in, he was like touching a woman's ass or breasts or making a weird sly comment. I was like, I don't think that aged well, but
No, it didn't.
No.
You
I
couldn't
mean,
make
in
a
the
movie like that
50s,
nowadays.
but I mean, in the 50s, that's kind of how guys were. So, I mean, it is a period piece.
my favorite dude, and I used to play as him in the board game myself, was Colonel Mustard. Not only because I'm a huge fan of Yellow Mustard, but because he was the one who made me laugh the most through this movie because of the things that he did. Like, there's one scene where the cook got stabbed, and he's like, "Don't touch the knife," and then he immediately touches the knife. And,
Why
like,
you
I
touch the knife?
don't know if that was intentional, but it made me laugh my butt off because it was just like, here's the guy like telling people, "Don't do this," and he does it himself. It was just really just a funny moment.
Don't do it. I want to do it.
I just like his facial hair. He's a very he looks probably the closest to the character from the board game, in terms of looks. So that's why I think he was my favorite.
Yeah. Again, I like them all.
Yeah, I like them all too.
Yeah, Coco, who's your favorite?
Well, my memory is trying to remember the characters' names, but
just think of colors.
Yeah, colors.
I
Or a
I have to say Plum was my favorite character too, because his ones are just like it's kind of all stereotypical, but I say they all it's just he's the one that's just how do I describe this?
No one loved the maid. Oh my god.
Yvette. Yeah.
No, it was all right. There's always something funny. He dead ends. I don't know. I got nothing.
Yeah.
This is one movie that you don't want to watch with your parents.
Oh yes, that's a
Nick, as you guys mentioned,
PG movie.
It's a PG movie.
Lots of cleavage shots, very high skirt, just one of those generic, sexy maid outfits that girls will wear on Halloween. It was
Yeah. I think we upgraded to nursing or nurses now. So
no, we're
went
at
from
the
maids.
Harley Quinn stage now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. There you go.
Psychotic villain. There we go. That's
There
But also
Perfect.
a doctor.
that's true. You're absolutely right, Tay.
Miss White, if you watch her, she does some of the funniest facial expressions throughout the whole movie. Her and
Right.
Peacock both. Like they're very subtle. Like they'll
Playing
just
it
do
up.
they just do subtle things that if you're not watching them, you miss half of the things they do that are hilarious.
Yeah.
Like Peacock, like if you watch the first time Yvette walks into the room, Peacock's there, just her face. She's just like, what the hell is this cleavage maid doing here?
And why do I feel like I'm so old now?
Peacock was just jealous. That's why. But I do want to mention that this movie did make me feel a little uncomfortable throughout the movie. I don't know. it was just like the old style, like flirting, like sexual, harassment. It was just so weird, and it was so like
Yeah.
odd. And another thing I want to point out, I don't know if it was just the version I watched, but the lips and the audio did not seem to match up, which was kind of distracting. But like,
yeah.
I don't know,
Where'd
it
you
didn't
watch
like
it?
match up. I watched it on PlayStation on the
Me
PS
too.
Store.
And everything seemed fine to me.
Might just
I
been
don't. It just
error.
seemed like the lips were lagging behind the audio. It was just weird. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe it could have been my internet, but
I was
Yeah.
watching a video and the sound and the whips was off, but when I refreshed it, it went back to normal.
okay, maybe it was just me then.
Yeah, it could have just been
Yeah.
laggy
It's like-
internet, you know.
Yeah, so mine was fine. What did you guys think of just like the overall plot, though?
Well, I thought it was a nice, smooth moving plot. It does make you like really pay attention to it because like you're like, okay, who could have been in that room, and you're thinking of the parts of the house that these people are in that they're showing. And I think I actually like the plot to this one.
Yeah, I thought they did a good job. Pacing was I thought pacing was pretty good. It starts off a little silly, like where's this going? And then second the murder happens, then the first murder happens.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Well, technically it wasn't a murder because he
That's
got
true.
back up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't see it, but I made air quotes.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Just shows how bad of a doctor Dr. Plum or Professor Plum is.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, he's dead, but
It's like-
then again,
No one saw him get shot or
I thought they were
anything.
gonna weekend at Bernie's it. You know, they're gonna
Yeah.
like have him answer the door and be like, "Hello, yes, he's fine."
Well, I mean, they did have
Dead,
that
but there's no
scene where
port
the
light.
police officer came in and they're all like making out.
Oh, yeah,
So,
yeah.
that reminded me of Weekend Birdings.
And the true ending, Plum knew he wasn't dead and was going to come back and kill him later.
That is true.
Yeah.
That's something I forgot about.
True.
But if you like the Scarlet ending, that Scarlet did it all, then that's a kind of a plot hole. It's like, well, how did she know?
Like, she's a socialist. Like, what did they say? I can't remember. It wasn't communism. It was
It was socialist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
socialist.
There was a big scare in the 50s there's still a big scare for socialists nowadays.
Yeah.
But even more so in the 50s.
Yeah, that comedy kind of went over my head because
Yeah.
as much as I love
It's a different
history,
time.
you know, it's one of those things that's like I had to look up what a socialist was. I was like, maybe I'll get this joke if I Google it.
yeah.
I have knowledge.
I think they did mention communism, and then they were like, "No,
Yeah.
she's a socialist," and they all go, "Like communism wasn't bad enough, but socialist? Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
fuck."
Watch out.
Also, say when you like not like have a gain to the ending, so like they were kind of describing everything that's happened. You didn't really have to like watch any of that because he kind of just explained it all around like 20 minutes with Tim Carrey.
Yeah, when he was kind of just going through the whole plot of the movie,
Yeah,
which was probably the most fun part of the movie because
Yeah, it
everything was just going so fast and
he was. I can't remember the character's name, but he just kept abusing him, which killed me.
Mr.
Mr. Green.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mr.
Green. Just stop doing it. No.
I love those moments where he pretends that he's gonna run around with everyone, then he goes through the secret hallway and pretends to be dead, and everyone reacts almost like. At first, people were reacting like, "Oh my god!" and then he falls out of the freezer, and everyone's like, "Okay, come on," he just lets him fall over.
Yes. Still plays it on the ground too.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys felt like this, but I felt like the movie was moving along nicely, and then all of a sudden the developers are like, "Oh man, we only have like 5 minutes left of film," and then all of a sudden they're like, speeding through all these endings, trying to like solve.
Yeah.
I just didn't like how quickly they were showing like all the how it could happen, with the butler, quote unquote butler.
Yeah.
I just didn't like how fast he was telling it. Like I was like, "Come on, man, I'm trying to keep up here," and it was just going too fast.
Yeah, it did fly by.
It does. And the endings, the different endings start at different periods. So like they're
Yeah.
the same up to a point. So when it cuts to the other one, and you're thinking, okay, they're going to recap everything again, and they don't. You're like, wait, but where does this? I don't remember where this picked up from. Like where it switched to this ending. I don't, it can be a little confusing.
You don't know where the beginning. You just know it's stopping somewhere. It's like, oh, great. Now I have to scan the entire parts.
Yeah, that's why, like Nick was saying, it would have been easier just to have one ending at the end of like the movie instead of it being like, well, this is how it could have gone, this is how it could have gone, and this is the actual ending. It's like, well, you could have just had one ending and
yeah.
Oh, like if you were gonna do it, we still like just like one, like not like two different endings that just leave us more confused. Like one side joke ending would have been fine.
But there's movies nowadays that still kind of do this, like with the Unfriended 2, the Dark Web or whatever. They had two different endings where the guy dies at the end or the guy lives. And those didn't stir up as much talk as this movie, of course, because I mean, who the fuck cares about those movies? They're fucking trash. But still, it's interesting to see that there's still movies doing stuff like this, even though it's not like widely popular.
Yeah.
And I like it every so often, like with this movie or something like that. But if it happened like in a lot of movies, I'd be like, all right, this is going too far. Let's.
Yeah. Well, it's like 3D. If it's done well, it's good. If it's just tacked on at the end, it's bad.
Yeah. It's like, oh, there's one scene meant for 3D. Ooh. That's why I like Jackass 3D, because the whole movie is shot in 3D and you can really get a 3D experience. But when you're watching a movie like I don't even know. There's those Up or a few of those animated movies that they're like, it's 3D now. It's just like, okay, so there's one scene where something happens. Yeah, exactly, Coco. It's not meant for 3D.
Yeah.
It's weird to have movies in 3D anymore. I never see the disc or anything.
There are still a lot of movies in 3D. I just don't see how they're making any money.
It was a fad. That, like, I mean, it always comes back. In the 50s there's a fad, and then Avatar brought it back, and luckily they're realizing, oh, no one likes this, so let's just stop.
Yeah.
But they've gotten more eco-friendly with the glasses now. You put them in a bin and then they throw them away.
They wash them and give them back to everybody.
Or so they say.
So, Coco, you had said, like, before we started, you had something you wanted to talk about that you're like, oh, save. What was that?
Yeah, it was that very, like, not PG movie at all. I mean, I'm not sure if it was just a different time period of what they thought it was, but, I mean, like, if you're going to watch this with, like, I don't know, like, for, like, 6 to 7, it's not really meant for for kids.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah, PG-13 would have probably been a more accurate. But I mean, if you look back, like the original Ghostbusters was just PG, which like that probably should be PG-13.
Yeah, there was a time during the 80s where movies were getting misrated. Like you can, like Stripes. I think Stripes is PG-13, but it should be R. While there's a movie called The Loser, which is an R-rated movie, which probably should just be PG-13. I think that was just kind of a thing going around in the 80s. They were I don't know what they were doing, but they were mislabeling things all around.
They're changing around the like definition of PG-13 and PG, and then after like a certain time period, you're like, all right, we gotta get this down to what actually is PG-13 and PG.
Actually, I don't. PG-13, I think, was added later. Like when these movies came out, I don't even know if there was a PG-13 yet. I think these movies they went, okay, maybe we need a in between rating.
True. That could be a possibility.
PG was introduced in 1984.
So maybe they didn't have a quite understanding.
Yeah, it must have just been too new of a concept.
Yeah.
It's weird to say, but judging movies like with like an ESRB rating is it's got to be difficult,
Yeah.
All right. Anyone else got anything they want to say about Clue?
Watch it if you haven't.
There you go.
Yeah, definitely watch it.
Yes, for sure. All right,
That's
Tay,
all
I
I
think.
got.
I start with my rating.
Yes, it's time to start the rating process.
I'd give it a 4.5. It's got a lot of good memories for me, so it's a fun, enjoyable movie. So yeah, 4.5 for me.
Okay. I'll go next. I did enjoy it. but I felt like it could have been a little longer. There was more, that, like I said, slow it down. Maybe I'm just too slow. Who knows? But I would have liked more of that maid. No, I'm kidding. I did
Was your
enjoy
name
it.
Professor Plum by any chance?
He
Oh,
does
you
relate
got
to
it.
him, remember?
Shoot, gotta run. But I did enjoy it. I'll give it a 3.5.
Yemmy.
Go ahead, Coco. I'll go
Oh.
last.
I would say I did enjoy this movie, even though I did enjoy. I did enjoy the movie, even though the plot kind of like got at the end of it. But overall, it got funny. Like the first half wasn't that funny, but it really like picked up in the second half. So I'll say I'll give the movie a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I think it was a really enjoyable movie. Definitely a product of its time. There's some jokes that don't hold up, but there's other jokes that made me still laugh. Lots of different characters I loved in this movie, but I feel like Miss White, I think, was a little bit underdeveloped along with Mr. Green. Mr. Green was just slapstick, and Miss White was just like, she was just there. I feel like for the most part.
A couple of them.
I didn't like the official ending to it, and I even wrote in my Letterboxd review that if the official ending wasn't there, this movie would probably be 4.5, but I gotta give it a 4.
Did I just give the lowest rating of a movie? Oh my god, guys!
You did.
How dare you?
I'm usually the highest rating.
All right, well, Coco, I believe you have a movie to recommend.
Oh.
I am. Don't do this to me now, computer. It's
Do you know the name? At
yeah,
least I
Guardians.
can-
It's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Whoa! All
Oh,
right.
all right.
Mama
5 out of
man.
5.
Yeah,
I'll
we
just
don't
put
even
my
have to
review
do
in
this
now.
one. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, my computer's just my computer just hates me right now. But Guardians of the Galaxy was made in 2014. It's there we go. It was the synopsis about it is a group of intergalactic criminals must pull together to stop a fantastical warrior with plans to purge the universe. The director is James Gunn, and some of the actors are Chris Pratt, Zoe I'm going to butcher these, Savannah, Dave Bautista, Vin Diesel, Bradley Cooper, and Lee Pace. Oh, and Michael Booker.
Cool. That's a. I actually we should we'll talk about it when we talk about it. But Guardians of the Galaxy is in my S tier for Marvel movies. So
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it is.
So
So that'll be a fun discussion.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Where
As-
can we find it?
what
Where
did you say,
can
Nick?
Where can
we
we find it?
find it, Yemmy?
Oh yeah, where can we find? I mean, you can
Disney
literally
Plus?
find it
Disney
anywhere.
Plus.
Disney
Yeah.
Plus,
Everywhere.
I own it.
Amazon, PlayStation, Xbox, DVD, Blu-ray, Vudu. It's pretty much. I mean, it's everywhere you can find Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Disney Plus is probably the only place that most of us watch it, unless they have it on
Oh.
the DVD Blu-ray combo.
Yeah.
Special
digital
edition.
version, yeah.
Disney Plus is where I'm watching it.
All right, Coco.
Okay.
Good pick.
So, yeah, if you guys don't want to be spoiled, or if you want to join the discussion for Guardians of the Galaxy, which was made in 2014, make sure you watch the movie before the next episode, which will be in 2 weeks. Also, don't forget that the same day that this is being uploaded, there will be a poll going up attached to this one, which will last for probably 24 hours. That way you can get your votes in for the the next movie for us to watch after Coco's. If you don't, let me reiterate. So it's Goodfellas, Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen, The Good, the Bad, and the Weird, and Groundhog Day. Those are 4 movies this week or this next 2 weeks. So make sure you vote for those, and then we'll announce the winner, of course, at the beginning or end or both of the next episode. All right. Anything else you guys want to add? Or are we all good in the hood?
I think we're all good.
I'm
Yep.
good.
All right. Well, I am Yemmy the Ferret, and I've been here with,
Greedy Waffle.
Taymation.
Coco Gamer.
and we are Film Freakz with a Z. Thanks for listening / watching.
See you.
Bye.
See ya.
See ya.